So 2002 Chevy Tracker. This video, I believe, applies to all 99 to 2004 Chevy Trackers. I'm making this because I really couldn't find a video helping me with this little project, and obviously this is something I'm doing on my driveway. This is a winter beater, shoestring budget, all that good stuff. So the problem is this. This is the subframe, the front subframe suspension, or suspension subframe. I mean, I've seen a few names, front suspension cradle. Don't confuse this with the engine cradle or transmission subframe. Anyways, so front suspension subframe, they rot out on the corners where the where this bracket is, where the lower control arm bolts in. As you can see, the whole thing rotted out there. This one let go in a parking lot, fortunately, and I mean, there was no obvious sound, but when I turned the wheel to, I think it was when I took left-hand turns, right, it doesn't matter, it almost felt like the front end of the vehicle pitched itself, almost like it was gonna like tip itself over, sort of feeling. Drove it home just fine. It was just taking, like I said, sharper left-hand turns, I think. It just felt real strange. Got home and I found that. So went on the internet. Not a lot of help, like I said. And this is the replacement piece. So you can see this is the, oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong part. This is the bracket that is all rotted out on the other one, and this is this one came from, it's a junkyard piece. I think this came from Arizona. I'll put the link for the website where I found this, because these were way overpriced. You'll see these on eBay for like $300, and I got this one for $125 shipped. I actually think it was like $75 and $50 shipping, something like that. So this is actually not too bad coming out. It is if you don't have heat, I guess. I would strongly recommend getting a cheap set of acetylene torches. I'll put a link for the ones I picked up a set for $199. I think it was Northern Tool or Harbor Freight, one of those two, and they were indispensable in getting these bolts out. I got a big half-inch air hammer that I've never had a problem pulling anything. I mean, seized lug nuts, crank bolts. It would not touch these, and I let these sit in PB blast for a couple days. Didn't touch them. So put the heat to them, and they cracked right open. So I would strongly recommend, if you're going to do this, get yourself a $200 set of torches, and you're going to use them for a bunch of other things too. So that's the first bit of advice. The second pain in the ass thing on this job is the steering rack. So there are 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 2 up top. I'm not going to be able to get to them, but so there's 2 here and 2 up above this. The 2 above this are a pain in the ass to get to. The one on the passenger side is easiest to get to from the top, and the one over here, you just gotta monkey with it. These are 14 millimeter bolts, and I recommend a flex head socket wrench for these, because you're going to need it. And so those were fun. With regards to the actual subframe bolts, like I said, there's 4 on each side of this subframe. See if I can get a good shot here. I'm trying to look through my camera and see what I'm doing at the same time, so bear with me. So there's one here, one back here, one here, one over here. These ones on the back of this subframe they'll actually hit this lower control arm here. So you pull the control arm through bolt out first, and then you can just kind of pull the control arm down and get those bolts out. And this thing will literally, you just have someone put a pinch bar on this control arm. It's hard getting into this thing with this, but I actually had my wife put the pinch bar in back here, pulled it down, and I slid the old subframe right out. Oh, another thing I almost forgot to mention. There's also 4 of these. These are 12mm bolts. There's one here, and the other one is. Let me show you here. So there's one down there, and the other one. I'm gonna probably need a flashlight to give you a good view here. I don't know. Here's my flashlight. And the other one, you can see, if I can get in here okay, the other one is right there, right where my finger is. That so, and those are 12mm bolts for the radiator mounts or radiator brackets. The only way that I was able to get that down there was a 12mm socket with 1, 2, 3, 4 extensions on a ratchet. So definitely make sure you have a few extensions to get to that. All in all, this is something that, I mean, depending if you have anything snap or you know, break on you, I think it's something that can be done in a day. I actually did this over the course of 3 days. It took me 1 day to pull the subframe out, and then I spent like 3 hours on it yesterday and probably 2 hours today wrapping it up. But I'll put some helpful links. I did find an excellent thread on some, I don't know, Tracker Suzuki forum that kind of gave a step-by-step on how to do this. So I'll put a link to that as well. Oh, and just with regards to the subframe itself, if you go looking for Chevy Tracker subframes from 1999 to 2004, like I said, you're going to find stuff that's mostly $300 and up. The subframe that I ordered is actually from a 2004 Suzuki XL7. I'll put in the link. I'll put the actual model, but the XL7 until 2004 was the same undercarriage, I think the same frame as the Tracker. So it's not the Suzuki Sidekick. The Sidekick was smaller. The Suzuki, again, it's skipping my mind at the moment, but I'll put it in the link down below. So hopefully this helps someone, because it was a pain in the ass putting all this information together myself. Good luck.